Hello.
Hello
Welcome.
to the Whitebeard and TK Experience, a Friday night adventure.
You've stuck around this long.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You probably see the glare off my glasses, so I won't be able to see what I'm looking at, but you're able to see this beautiful, handsome mug. Wow, really? Thanks for the vote of confidence. Anyway, welcome to season 2. We just wanted to catch up and do a wrap up of season 1 in between this Friday's episode, which this is going to take place of that because I wanted to do this a little bit earlier during the week, but we had a lot of things going on. So, yeah. So this is going to happen now. Are you ready? All right. Jump in the back.
Jump into the void behind us.
Ooh, the black hole. Into the void. First, I just want to thank everybody who have been very supportive of us of our first year on YouTube. Wanted to do this many years ago, but did not, and then we finally decided to jump into the deep end last year. And as you can see, if you look at the shows from start to finish, there's a lot of growth in that, and technical difficulties, just all the stuff that we did. So, but it was a very interesting year, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
A lot of learning curves and a lot of other stuff. For some of you, what?
A lot of cameras almost getting run over.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah. We were out hiking on Sunday and was trying to do this shot because that would look cool. And like a lot of people overland, whoever, when you see documentaries, you see people hiking by themselves. If you ever watch those sort of channels, and you see these things, and you're wondering how they get these shots. Well, okay, they don't have a drone. What are they doing? Well, they have to put the camera up, do the walking or whatever they're going to do, take the shot, then come back for all that B-roll and pick up the camera. Well, we're in the middle of doing that this Sunday, and it was one of those, we were walking by to get the shot of a different angle.
And the maintenance truck starts coming our way.
Coming down the road.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. If you remember from last week, which actually was the finale, about, what was the last one? Oh my gosh. Hello?
I have no idea.
Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Uranus? Right. There's a scene in there when the car was coming back. We were leaving. It was talking about the stuff, how we do it, and then we were leaving, going off to Uranus. Or was the episode before that? There's a shot of the car backing up and taking off. Well, this particular camera was sitting on the floor. I had the great idea. I was like, ooh, that'd be really good if we do this shot. Well, there's not a lot of clearance under our car. So we were like, if the camera gets crushed. But yeah, this time it wasn't our fault. Well, it was our fault. We left the camera there when the truck came.
Yeah.
So enough of that. I start out with saying thank you guys who have liked and shared and supported us along this entire journey that we were doing. Getting support and supporters is extremely hard these days. Like I said before, you have to compete with so many things out there. So many streaming services taking people's time away from watching things, and they generally don't want to sit down and watch 30, 40, 50 minutes or 15 minutes of someone hiking unless you're into adventure. And we'll watch stuff on YouTube. So all of you who have commented, we thank you for that, because we want to hear from you. We want to know, did you like that? Do you have any ideas? And so going into season 2, there are a few things we want to do a little bit different. Like, when you start something like this, you introduce yourself. So, hello again. I'm T. Anthony, also known as the Whitebeard, and standing next to me is
Hannah. We'll just, we'll get the government name stuff over with right now. I am Hannah, aka previously the kid, but now rebranded as TK. T.K. Or just TK. Whatever you feel like writing is up to you.
Yes.
Whichever one makes you more comfortable.
Yeah. Moving right along. So anything that you had from any of your experience throughout this entire year that we started this, in case you want to know why we started season 2 like in the middle of April or the beginning of April, is because when we first started in 2017, when we started we started going camping, we started at the beginning of the year, and then we started hiking in April, officially in April. I think the beginning of April, and then we really finally kicked it off at the official was April 21st. And that started with the 52 hike challenge. And then last year, when we started the channel, was in
April.
So, there you go. We said, well, let's go from April to April, and that will be the 1 year. So, and there you go. And if you wonder why this break is here, I already said that. This was supposed to be done at the beginning of the week, but we're doing it today. So the question was?
What was the question? I don't know.
You know what?
Do you know?
See, this is the stuff that happens with the podcast. And no one else gets to see this.
If you remember the original question, comment it.
The original question was, after the first year of doing this, were there anything from any of this past year of stuff that we've done that stand out to you? Anything that, whatever?
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a thing, but I liked meeting all the new people and hearing their stories and where they're going and where they came from, like Cotton Eye Joe, and what they're doing. I think that was my favorite part. And also, I'll just like put in there something that I've learned is that things take time. They take time. They take time to record the clips, put it in a YouTube video. It takes time to edit things. It takes time to find music. It takes time to go on trips. And also, money takes money. So those are 2 things that you must have to do this. Time, and you don't have to be rich, obviously. Because if I told you that would be a lie. You don't have to be rich, but the funds that will get you to the place you need to go without putting you in the negative in your bank account, preferably, will be good. So.
Yeah. New Mexico. And just meeting the people out there, the dryness of the desert, something I've always wanted to do. I really like that. It took us a long time to get acclimated to that air that was so dry. Man, that messed our noses up. It was hard to breathe. And then as we continued to move east on our way back from New Mexico, the air was a little bit more moist in the air, and so our nose, it was really, really crazy. But I did enjoy that trip. And when we went camping in New England, which was really, really good. And I think that I kind of like traveling, camping, and camping. And I enjoy hiking altogether. I just was getting tired of hiking just in the same places we've always been in New York and New Jersey. And so to be able to go somewhere else and do that was really, really great. And although we didn't do much of it last year, we pretty much stayed on the East Coast. We did do more traveling for camping and just being on the road and going to different places. So how would you describe our channel and our adventure? I have it in mind. I was going to say it, but I want you to talk.
Showing you how to adventure on a budget.
Yeah, okay.
No, but I don't know. It's something not new, but a lot of people don't put their emotions out there on the internet, specifically on YouTube. They'll be like, oh, we went here and our tire fell off and it went down a well. But we're fine. And it'll be all sunshine and rainbows and puppies and kittens, but sometimes it's not that way. And I think that we do a pretty good job of being real. I know a lot of people say, I'm so real. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about portraying our humanness for other people while we're doing this.
Yeah, I said from OnStar, this is not, as you could tell, we're not just as polished people who travel all the time. We're pretty much part-time travelers. I would love to do this full-time. The uniqueness about us is that the father and son team, that's one. We're 40 years apart, so I'm going to be near 60. And so her life is going in one direction, mine is going the other direction. So, and there's two different generations that we're traveling. So there's a lot to go into that. But I wouldn't say that we're just, like people say, overlanders. We don't have a truck, so we don't overland. We do go camping, we do hike, and we do like to travel. So our channel is not just specifically one thing, as we watch a lot of people who we like to watch in their shows, and it's just that one thing that they do. And sometimes you hear them apologizing because, well, this week it's not going to be about cooking out in the woods, it's so-and-so. I'm not making an apology for that. We're not that type of people. And so that's why we started this. It was number one, to get people who are like us, who live in an urban area or the city area, who don't normally go out and think about doing things like this. And because we don't know anybody. And so that's how we first started out. And it was like, to encourage other people to do that, to get outside and get some fresh air. So our channel is unique in that way that it's eclectic from my point of view. It's eclectic when we do these things. So we're hoping in this season to be able to bring you along with some more of those things that we've already been doing before we hit YouTube. So when we ending season 2 was not the plan to end season 2 at the end of that trip. That wasn't the original plan, but it just happened to fall on that because we began the winter and fall hiking season. Then we took a break to bring the Midwestern trip, our Midwestern expedition, that we wanted to have ready for around December, and that didn't happen. So then that took the break up, and so we continued to go hiking. So that's what's going to begin. You'll start to see that coming in as season 2 progresses next week. And but more what we wanted to do this year was what? Remember we said about support?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, everything we've been doing out of pocket, and yeah. And we went out west and a few other things, and we had some bumps along the road, as you've seen. So this year, we're hoping, I already started, I just didn't finish it. This year we're hoping to launch a Patreon, so that you guys can help support our channel, so you can also help support us as we're going out to do more things. Want to go back out west, but not this year. So we're hoping 2023, God willing, we'll be out west to go to those other states we missed, and this time though, I want to spend at least about 2 to 3 weeks in doing that. So it's going to take a year pretty much to prep all that and get to the different places. But along the way, we still have other things we want to do. Places we'd like to hike, and gas costs a lot at the moment. And just the logistics of getting different places is really beginning to cost us. So we're also going to try to see if there are other things that we can maybe offer with the Patreon. What was one of the things I thought about? At a particular level, we didn't say what level, but at a particular level, we could have somebody what?
Be on the podcast.
Yes, be a guest on the podcast.
Yes.
So.
But if you do have any other ideas,
please let us know.
Let us know. We have an Instagram, And we also have a Facebook, and I have a Facebook and an Instagram, and we both have personal pages on Instagram. Yeah, you know.
What's your email?
whitebeardandtk@gmail.com.
Oh, look at that. The brain worked today.
So
Yes.
if you have any suggestions, you have a ton of contact information, and you can send them there, and we'll see it, and then we'll be like, okay, that is doable, let's do it.
Yes, there are a few other things. We're tea drinkers. I think you're moving out of the shop. We're tea drinkers, so I was looking into other things like private. Oh, what are those things called?
No idea.
Oh my gosh, private, not private sellers. You know what I'm talking about. 'Cause I see a lot of people in the overlanding and camping and hiking community. Everybody's selling coffee. I'm like, I like coffee. I don't drink coffee like that. We're tea drinkers. So if any of you have any ideas of who we can contact for that, that's that. We had ideas for t-shirts that we made our first year we started camping, and that's just sitting somewhere. And then we started the podcast. I was like, oh, podcast t-shirts with the quotes of things I've always said, like, and a lot of other stuff. I'm like, oh, that could be a shirt. So we're working on different ways of raising support to continue to do this, but in making it bigger? Not bigger, our adventures. It's like we've been shooting for the past year and just past year's period on cell phones. And then last year we incorporated this camera. And so there are things we need to upgrade, but mostly it's for traveling expenses and for gas and for different places to go into. And so that's what we're trying to do. So Patreon, or we're trying to find some other place where people can subscribe in different levels. So one of those levels was, like we said, being a guest on a podcast. What else we're thinking of season 2? Something I said on Instagram, I know you're not going to remember.
No.
Monday, I was about to say Friday Night Lives. Monday Night Live.
Yes.
So that's up in the works in my brain. Not in her brain, although she will participate.
I'm thinking, though, that another one of them could be having your name placed in the video as one of our supporters, We gotta shout out our supporters.
That too. Monday Night Live, which is kind of the way I'm figuring, the way I have it in my head. I'm hoping we can launch that this month, but there's so much happening in April right now that I don't know if we're going to actually launch that in April. It would be nice to launch a third thing that we do. Monday Night Live would sort of be a glimpse into how that is. Us live in front of a camera, because our podcast is audio, where no one has the time to go through all of this to do something every single day. And I honestly struggle with not getting on that mic every day, especially with the current stuff that's happening. So, the way the Whitebeard and TK podcast work is, it was the original thing from, well, not the original, but again, like our adventure series, we do a lot of different things. We talk about a lot of different topics. The Walking Dead, for one of them, which we're going to get back to that, and that would be like on Mondays, and we talk about other things, movies and everything. And I kind of go into, current events, politics, like maybe once a month, and just recap everything that's happened. And there are some times when I do like a special thing in between that. So that's that. So this will be on Instagram. We may do it on YouTube simultaneously. I don't really know how we're going to do it. I think it would be easier to just start with Instagram and just have people from there, because a lot of hikers who we're connected with are on Instagram. The people who we know are there, and so it'll be easier to do live interview show. Monday nights, preparing you for what's going to come down the line for a Friday night episode. Don't really know, we're ironing that out. I'm hoping to launch it, as I said, this month. But part of coming back and going through the winter hiking season was also, we weren't traveling that much. was also to get all of our doctor's appointments and everything done throughout the winter, and to start training for what's happening in April.
Backpacking.
Yes. Last year we were backpacking for the first time, and so this year I said it last year. So this year we're going for our second annual. It's once a year. I want to do it twice a year. Our second annual backpacking trip, and we're going to go back to Smoky Mountain down in Tennessee. So we've been pretty much training. Yes, as you can see, I am built like Arnold. But you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You just have to work on your stamina, your legs, and your cardio for this type of thing. But we have been actually doing other type of training. So that's what we've been doing. So going to different places, hiking, and the final couple of weeks before that, you may see some soft hiking going on, because we don't want to do anything, because we're going to be down there for quite some time. That's why I said, trying to launch all this stuff while preparing and getting all of the permits that we need, getting all the equipment that we need, changing up some stuff we did last year that we don't need, and get some stuff that we do need. Like what? A thing called stamp splint. We've been hiking since 2018.
Sure.
Yeah, and we've had first aid kits. Most of them are the boo-boo kits. Never the other kits. And I have taken a very serious fall. She's fallen. And we've never actually had some things just in case. And we're constantly twisting the ankle. So, like I said, putting equipment together and preparing our bodies and our minds. When you backpack, sometimes if you're going for a couple of days, or you're going, up a high mountain, by the, halfway through your journey, it's no longer about your body. It's about what?
Your mind.
Your mind. And you really have to push through. And go back and look at our Tennessee road trip, and you'll see when we were backpacking what happened to her when we ended. And it really was an emotional trip up that mountain. So that's what we've been doing. And that's what we're hoping, and we're praying and planning for season 2 for this year. And again, say thank you.
Thank you. Also, welcome. Welcome. We're glad to have you back. If you've been here since the beginning, we're happy that you're still here. And if you're new, why not subscribe?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can get all of our notifications. And apparently YouTube has been doing like this really weird thing where it doesn't send you notifications. Like it'll untap the bell or something. So if you are subscribed, make sure the bell is on, because although it's never happened to me, with anybody that I'm subscribed to, apparently it happens with some people. So you might want to double check.
Double check. Not double tap, double check. Double check. So.
And send us your, what is the word? Now I forget the word. Yeah, comments, emails, DMs, questions, suggestions on Patreon things and video things. If you have something that's like, well, I use this editing app or this camera or this thing that helps me make my photos look better, or you just like to say, hey, I like the video, send it in.
Your experience with GoPro. This year we're going to try to get and use a GoPro. So there's a few new things. It's like almost every year we've been in an adventure. I kind of switch it up every year to add something a little bit more to it. In the beginning she was very young. It's like, and now it's like, oh yeah, let's go. So each year we've added to the level of stuff we're doing. Last year I think the big thing was the beginning of the year was backpacking. At the end of the year was like, you know what? Let's drive out west. So I don't know what we're going to do this year. Oh, I know what I want to do. And then we're going to get out of here because I really didn't want this to be that long. Really. It's just information and saying thank you. When we were coming back, we passed through Missouri. And we heard that Missouri is the cave state. So that's a place I want to go back to. Spend some time in a particular state or something like that. But I really want to go back to Missouri and explore their caves. Not spelunking, because I will go spelunk. So there'll be no spelunking. But I would really, really love to go and for us to experience exploring those caves. We went to one cave once, one cavern, and did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah, so now I would like to go there because they have over, I think she said at least way over 100 different caves to explore. I think that's enough talking.
I think so too.
All right. So what do we do? Coming up next, like I said, we interrupted the whole fall winter hiking thing. And so coming up next, we're going to continue with our 52 hike challenge for this year. We're doing the 2022 52 hike challenge this year. And that's where you do a hike every week, 52 weeks, get it? 52 hike challenge. So we're going to pick back up where we left off. And do you remember what the first one is, where we were? Really? You don't remember, do you?
I remember the place, but I don't remember the name.
Well, it'll be a mystery.
Yeah.
A mystery. It'll...
A
Goodbye.
surprise.
There you go, a surprise. We're done. We'll see you outside.
Farewell.